Coming up on MHS1.
We get to know the gift of giving.
We learn more about a new record-breaking student.
And 3 teachers get competitive in the kitchen.
And that's all coming up on MHS1.
Good morning, McKinney High School. Today is Friday, December 15th. I'm Wilson Galvan.
And I'm Allie Tauber, and you're watching MHS1. With the holiday season well on its way, Mary Beth Plaster and Emma Triana bring us a story on how the Lions can give back this season.
Over the past few weeks, English 1 teacher Becca Collada conducted a toy drive to support the children and families of the Collin County Children's Advocacy Center just in time for Christmas.
So this is my 3rd year to do it. First year I did it for the Children's Health Hospital in Dallas. Last year I did it for the Dallas Children's Advocacy Center, and this year is for the Children's Advocacy Center of Collin County. I like doing it with my students because it builds a sense of community within our classroom. It's, let's do this for other people. If you're looking for something small, but something that still matters, it's such an easy way to do that.
The Children's Advocacy Center services kids who have been victims of abuse and neglect in their homes or outside of their homes. The drive benefits families in these situations who wouldn't have the opportunity to provide a Christmas for their kids and gives them a chance to do so.
The only reason I think I thought of domestic violence was I think I saw a commercial for it was called the Fort Bend Women's Shelter, which is Fort Bend is the county I grew up in Houston. And I told my mom, I was like, I want to volunteer at the Fort Bend Women's Shelter. I got to see what a victim of sexual, physical, verbal abuse looked like. And so from that moment on, domestic violence, child abuse became something that I was very passionate about. It just makes you really see the suffering in the world is there, but the good is there too. And it's important to seek out the good so that you can help the suffering.
This has been Mary Beth Plaster and Emma Triana reporting for MHS1.
Random ingredients and only 30 minutes to prepare a full meal?
Allie, that is crazy. Angela Sinacor and Andrew Watson bring us the first ever episode of MHS1 Sliced.
3 chefs, 1 course. Only 1 chance not to lose.
You snooze, you lose.
The challenge, make a meal out of the items hidden in this box before time runs out. Who will win the mystery prize and who will be sliced? These staff members think they have what it takes to win. I'm your host, Andrew Watson with the MHS1 Food Network, and these are our contestants.
This is actually my 7th consecutive, and then I was here as an administrative intern a long time ago. So really it's my 8th year. I really pride myself as a really, really good cook. With a full kitchen, I think I can do great things. May the best man win, and whatever the judges think, that we'll have that decision to go from.
Of all the contestants who are in MHS1 Sliced, I've been at McKinney High School by far the longest, and I'm by far the handsomest, except for Mr. Bennett. To my competitors who are going to try to beat me at this cooking competition, I want to tell them, get ready to get sliced.
This is my 5th year to be back at McKinney High School. I totally think that I should win this competition. Brady and Bennett, they're good people, but certainly I have more experience in cooking than they do. I think I'm totally going to beat them, and I can't wait for the competition. I'm ready for it. Ready and willing, and I'm going to fight for that title.
Where's the butter? Who's got the butter?
Really? I boil the water, you take it?
Cheater! You're a cheater. No, I'm not.
The science department is trying their best to close the financial gap.
Here's Michelle Brooks with the story.
The faculty in the science department have focused on closing the achievement gap between the general population and socioeconomic and ethnic groups.
when we do see some gaps, when we break things down either because of ethnicity or because of socioeconomic background, and socioeconomic means, what's the income in your household, right? And a lot of times income, not always, but a lot of times income relates to educational level of parents at home, and that affects, how much that kid maybe is read to, how much that kid can be helped at home with their homework. And so we're really trying to work to see how can we meet those needs. And a lot of times it's just going a little bit above what we've done in the past. So we have been trying to give students different ways of approaching subject matters.
Faculty like Mr. O'Brien say creating relationships is key to reaching these groups.
So you got to know where they're coming from, what their interests are, what their background knowledge is. So you got to approach it a variety of different ways with each topic. You have to provide step resources. So certain kids need more information than other kids, so you got to make sure you provide it. Repetition is key, pre-teaching vocabulary. Some kids have never been to a zoo before, and so those are types of gaps you got to fill in. You can't expect the kids to have that background knowledge. So
one of the things that we're learning more and more how to do better as educators is to really have a focus on the learner. If I'm going to try to teach you something, I can't just assume that the 30 students who are in my classroom are all going to be able to learn everything exactly the same way at the same time.
This has been Michelle Brooks reporting for MHS1.
One student decides to give a helping hand to a teacher and his family. Here's Ali Tauber, Carson Gorman, and Sarah Humadi with the story.
The tragic news of Memphis Meeker's heart complications inspires a student to give a helping hand.
So Memphis just turned 2. He was born November 17th, 2015. We found out at 4 months old that he had 3 different heart defects. They fixed 2 of them already. He had a small ASD, which is a hole between your left and right atrium. He had a cleft mitral valve when he was born, and so that's just the valve that goes between your atrium and your ventricle on the left side of your heart. They tried repairing it last October, and it didn't work. It failed by January, and then in May they put in a new mechanical valve, which is working great at this time, but his left ventricle is now not pumping accurately, and so it is not getting the blood throughout the rest of his heart at a good enough rate. It's affected our family with my wife is not able to work anymore, so she's at home with Memphis, who is our 2-year-old, and we have a 6-month-old named Shepherd, and so she's a stay-at-home mom with those 2 because of it, and I've had to take off 5 weeks already in the last 1.5 years because of different procedures from work, and so it's just been a little stressful on us.
One student, Elizabeth Chan, thought she could make it a little less stressful for him.
For Coach Meeker, I just made shirts for him, and it said just like Heart of a Lion and then Memphis underneath because that's his son's name, and then #Lion Family. During class, Coach Meeker just mentioned that his son has had heart problems throughout his life. He had a GoFundMe, and so I woke up the next day and I just couldn't stop thinking about his family, and so I decided to do t-shirts, and then I just went home and started making designs and just worked until I finished it that day.
It's humbling to have to be willing to accept gifts and help from students and faculty when you know sometimes they have less than you do. And so we've been very appreciative, and we cannot say thank you enough to the parents, the teachers, the kids who've been willing to help us, and especially Elizabeth with her fundraiser. It's been an unbelievable blessing.
You can visit Elizabeth's Twitter account at Liz__Chan for more information on the t-shirt sales and to find his GoFundMe. This has been Ali Tauber, Carson Gorman, and Sarah Humadi reporting for MHS1. Wilson Galvan, Sophie Manson, and Jackson Cantrell give us a story on how the Lions can make a Mactown miracle.
This coming holiday season, Student Council is raising canned goods and other storable food products in an effort to donate to families in need.
Mactown Miracles is a big effort that's put on by both McKinney High School, McKinney Boyd, and North all together.
We're planning on feeding families of 10, and so we'll give them a full-size frozen turkey. We'll give them corn, green beans, stuffing, jello, pudding, all kinds of stuff.
And we have a goal of getting 650 local families fed, and each family consists of about 10 people. And so basically what we're looking for is as much as the community can give in order to feed those 650 families. Being a part of this charitable organization is a really good way for everyday students to get involved. Sometimes in our busy schedules, it's really hard to find time to donate and give back, and so because we're doing this through our school, it makes it a lot easier for people to get involved, and I just think it's a really great way to contribute.
This has been Sophie Manson, Jackson Cantrell, and Wilson Gavon reporting for MHS1.
Alrighty, here are the rules. There's one round where you make an entree. You have a basket of mystery ingredients for you to use in your dish. Also available to you is our pantry of spices and the 2 ingredients that you brought. When you finish, our judges will critique your meal based on presentation, taste, and creativity. If your meal does not cut it, you will be sliced. Chefs, please open your basket. You have ramen noodles, hot Cheetos, gluten-free tortillas, and bell peppers. You must incorporate these 4 ingredients into your dish. You have 30 minutes on the clock. Your time starts now. 30 minutes on the clock.
I want some eggs.
This, and this. Ooh, I need that.
I'm considering this is kind of a souffle, but it's now turning into maybe a baked little pie, maybe something like that.
It is beef that's been cooked until it's done, but not all the way done. Inside of the beef, I have crunched up hot Cheetos. I have flavored it with chicken ramen noodle seasoning. And there are also orange peppers inside to make it delicious.
I am making some peppered fajitas in a ramen and hot Cheeto. Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta put a little ramen in this somewhere.
Miss Smith, have you boiled any more water yet? I need some more.
Shut up.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4,
Okay, yeah, that
3,
does look good.
2,
It is colorful.
1, 0. Coming up on Sliced.
Okay, so the first person that we sliced was...
Football season has come to an end, and you know what that means?
It's time for Michelle Brooks to give us an update on winter sports.
Thanks, Wilson and Allie. The Lionettes basketball team, they play Denton Guyer tonight at home at 7:30. The Lions basketball team plays Denton Guyer away tonight at 7:30. The wrestling season is well underway. Sam Richards, Sydney Beck, and Lexi Villarreal give us an update on the wrestling team.
With the wrestling season back in full swing, our wrestlers are preparing for a new year.
With JV and freshmen, our numbers are going to be up, so this year I anticipate being able to have a full varsity team and almost a full JV team. So I think we're going to have a lot more numbers, and there's a lot of potential going on. We started a little bit light, and then we're slowly ramping it up harder and harder as the year goes on, so we can peak at the right time and not get burnt out too early. So, I mean, we're lifting multiple days a week, running, conditioning, and then we're also getting our conditioning practice or technique practice in 5 days a week now.
The season's going to be totally different from last season. We're wrestling different teams this year, and we have a lot of tournaments, so a lot of one-on-ones.
As well as training hard for each match, the team works for a close family environment to strengthen their bonds and their team as a whole.
These guys have been working really hard since day one. They've been putting in a lot of hard work these couple of months. We have a lot of freshmen this year, so we've been trying to bond, build a relationship, chemistry with one another, get to know them a little bit more, help them out the most that we can, encourage them to work hard every day,
Well, it is an individual sport, but I try to promote a family environment and friendly environment with each other, because if you're afraid to let your teammate down, generally you're going to work harder. And so if we can become closer and closer, the harder we'll work for each other.
This has been Samantha Richards, Sydney Beck, and Lexi Villarreal reporting for MHS1.
Diver AJ Sullivan broke the 6th dive record that hasn't been broken since 1996. Here's Riley Mulligan with the story.
A new addition to the diving team has set records high above standards.
I broke the 6 dive 1 meter record for the school. Previously, Gina Joplin had the record of 287 flat, and she went to the Olympic trials, and then 21 years later I broke the record. I practice every day at school during 4th period, and then most of the time, like 3 days a week, I go after school and go to club if I have the time.
She did through hard work. She's been working really hard this last almost year and a half now with just making the transition from being a gymnast to being a diver, and she's been working her tail off, and it's paying off. It's paying off greatly, so it'll be neat to see what the future holds for AJ. As far as like swimming and diving, she brings a whole new level. She brings so many points to the team that when we go into meets, we know what AJ is going to do, and so it sets the team up to do really well in the meet. And so she's going to help out greatly, especially once we get into championship season here in the next month.
I heard people saying, or my coach, I could, and I had the potential to, and so at this meet I was actually like hoping to, and so that was my goal for this meet. It's like I can't describe it. I don't have any words. It's so amazing. As soon as I did it, I just went and hugged everyone and thanked everyone for helping me, and it's just, I can't describe it.
This has been Riley Mulligan reporting for MHS1.
That's all for sports. Now back to y'all.
We normally see him in the English Hall, but Sarah Humati and Carson Gorman bring us somewhere where he's a little more comfortable.
That's right, Mr. Santana's this week's Teacher Home Invasion.
Oh, God. Who gave me away? Was it Ortiz?
My name is Isaac Santana. I am an English 2 teacher at McKinney High School. I am married. I celebrated 5 years of marriage in May, and so we're coming up on our 6th, and we recently, in celebration of our 5th year of marriage, went to England and Ireland over the summer, and when we came back we decided that we wanted to get a puppy, and so we have about a 6-month-old puppy now. Her name is Kona. Ton of energy. I did go to Harvard for my master's degree, and that was an incredibly important experience for me. That was kind of a big deal. Of course, not just for me, but for my entire family. I loved it. It was the most formative experience of my life. When I was growing up, there was nothing for us, and really, getting addicted to drugs or going to prison or something like that was really what was slated for our future. And my mom worked so hard to push me off of that kind of path. And really, who made the difference in the end outside of my mom were my teachers and my coaches. They would never stop believing that there was some type of beautiful thing in my future, that I could rise above the cards that life had dealt me, and that was something that really just made me who I am. And when I was thinking about what to do with the rest of my life, I couldn't think of a more honorable profession than to give back to kids in the same way that those teachers gave so much into my life. One of the, cool things that I can show is a watch collection that I have. About 3 years ago, I didn't have a watch in the world. And then my wife bought me a Fossil watch for Christmas before we moved back to Texas. And so I had one, and then she started working for Fossil Corporate. Said my wife and I really love decorating for Christmas, so we put this stuff up, but we are very proud of our tree, and the fact that our ceiling can take trees that are so large. Like I said, we have all these wonderful ornaments. My wife is a huge Pittsburgh sports fan, so we have Pittsburgh Steelers and Pittsburgh Penguins stuff over there. I'm a big FC Barcelona fan. Me and Mr. Ortiz have a long-standing bet about who is the bigger coffee connoisseur. This is my espresso machine, which is, of course, for those of you who aren't familiar with coffee, how you make lattes and cappuccinos and that type of stuff. I pull a mean shot of espresso. I doubt Mr. Ortiz even knows what that word means. I have enjoyed this. It is Friday night and I have no idea why I'm spending time with students from McKinney High School. So I'm gonna ask that you guys leave. So here's the door. You will not let it hit you on the way out. Have a good evening.
Never adds a
hot Cheetos.
Hot Cheetos.
I need some panko.
Okay.
I don't know what to expect.
I don't either. All of us had praise and room for improvement.
All right, judges, give us your verdict.
Okay, so the first person that we sliced was Mr. Bennett. I knew he would react that way. I knew it. Worked my whole life! No camera now.
It was really hard. It was really close. Not really. Mr. Brady, you're sliced.
It's okay. And Ms. Smith, that makes you the Slice Champion. Congratulations.
You get a bag of key limes.
Ooh.
You got a can of rambutans, or a packet of rambutans.
That is perfect. That is perfect.
You get this crown.
To go with the collection.
This has been Andrew Watson reporting for MHS1, and this has been Sliced.
Man, the Lions have their hands full on this upcoming week.
I know, and Harmony has their winter concert next Tuesday.
Also, it's finals week, so make sure you're prepared.
Well, that's all we have for you today. Follow us on Twitter at Mainstream News, and remember,
if it's news,
and it's at McKinney High School,
it's MHS1.
Hark, hear the bells, like silver bells, now echoing good news they bring. Mediocre cheer, days lost of cheer, down all is lost, ding, ding, dong, down, ding, 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 chanting, ring the air loud, ding, ding, dong. Hark, hear the bells, bright silver bells, now echoing good news they bring.